Okay, so get this. We're diving into a book called, like, The Spooky Millionaire.
The Spooky Millionaire.
Yeah, by John Gold.
Right.
And he claims there's this path to success
Ah.
that's a little spooky, you know?
Yeah.
So we're going to tackle chapter 1 today.
Okay.
And I have to admit, I'm already intrigued.
Yeah.
It's not your typical self-help stuff, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not your average think positive and get rich
Right.
kind of book, Gold. He kind of blends sociology with this touch of the paranormal.
Okay.
So that makes for a pretty interesting recipe for success, you know?
Totally.
Totally.
And from what I've skimmed, it seems like the spooky millionaire concept
Right.
isn't just about money.
Yeah, that's a key point.
Right.
Gold argues that you can feel like a millionaire,
Okay.
even without a massive bank account.
Yeah.
He even says you might find yourself with $1 million feeling,
Right.
even though your checkbook reflects a much more modest figure.
Right.
He emphasizes like a sense of purpose,
Okay.
fulfillment,
Yeah.
maybe even finding that millionaire feeling
Yeah.
in a strong family or work you truly connect with.
Okay.
It's about aligning your actions with your kind of like inner drive.
Gotcha. That's starting to make more sense.
Right.
But you said paranormal.
Yeah.
You're not suggesting we're going to be summoning spirits for wealth, are you?
Uh-huh. No.
Oh, yeah.
Hold your sage and crystals.
All
It's not about literal ghosts or magic.
Okay.
It's more about tapping into your subconscious mind and harnessing what he calls unseen energies.
Right.
Gold draws parallels to things like spooky action at a distance
Right.
in quantum physics.
Yeah.
It's about being open to unexpected possibilities and synchronicities.
I see.
You know those moments where things just seem to fall into place?
Okay, wait. Quantum physics?
Yeah.
That's a big leap.
Yeah.
How does that even relate to, say, landing a dream job or starting a successful business?
Well, Gold argues that there's more to success than just, hard work and planning.
Right.
He says, think of the subconscious as a garden.
Okay.
It's fertile ground for ideas.
Right.
But most people leave it overgrown with weeds of negativity,
Uh-huh.
self-doubt, and societal conditioning.
Right.
He suggests that by tapping into our subconscious,
Okay.
we can unlock a level of potential
Yeah.
that we might not even be aware of.
Okay.
He compares this untapped potential
Yeah.
to the spooky millionaire
Right.
residing within each of us.
Okay, so it's about mindset,
Yeah,
but not just positive thinking, right? It's
Right.
about connecting with a deeper part of ourselves.
exactly.
But don't we all face roadblocks?
Yeah.
Like fear of failure,
Yeah.
self-doubt, those kinds of things?
Sure.
How does Gold address that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He acknowledges those obstacles head on.
Okay.
Gold says, the mind is a mountain.
All right.
You have to climb it daily. He compares different challenges to climbing different mountains.
Right.
Daily challenges are like Mount Everest.
Okay.
Negative self-image.
Uh-huh.
That's Mount Kilimanjaro you need to conquer.
Gotcha.
Suppressed negativity,
Right.
the kind that simmers beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Is your Mount Vesuvius,
Okay.
ready to erupt.
Right.
You have to find ways to manage those internal challenges to reach the summit of success.
I like that the mountain analogy. It
Yeah.
makes those internal struggles feel more tangible.
Right.
But is there a practical way to start climbing these mountains? I mean, how do you even begin to tap into this spooky millionaire potential?
Well, one of the key concepts he introduces is the law of interaction.
Okay.
He believes that success is rarely a solo endeavor.
Uh-huh.
He argues that combining your energy with others,
Okay.
much like blending ingredients for a great cocktail,
Right.
can create something far more potent
Okay.
than you could achieve alone.
So it's like that old saying, teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about collaboration,
Uh-huh.
networking,
Mm-hmm.
learning from people with different perspectives.
Okay.
Think about, have you ever had a moment where a conversation with someone
Uh-huh.
sparked an idea
Oh, yeah.
or gave you a new insight
Oh, sure.
that you wouldn't have had on your own?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes just bouncing ideas off someone else can unlock all sorts of creativity.
Totally.
But is that all it takes to become a spooky millionaire? Just think positive, climb a metaphorical mountain, and find some good collaborators.
Well, there's more to it, of course.
Okay.
Gold also delves into the role of unseen forces.
Right.
Those synchronicities I mentioned before.
Right.
It's about being open to the idea that there might be forces at play that we don't fully understand.
Okay.
He even shares a personal anecdote about finding snow circles on his car.
Snow circles? Like, what are those?
He describes them as perfectly formed circles of snow.
Wow.
On his car.
Okay.
No footprints around. No logical explanation.
Okay.
He sees it as a sign.
Right.
A nudge in the right direction.
Okay, now that's a little out there, even for me.
Yeah.
But I get the point.
Sure.
It's about being open to possibilities, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that success is often a combination of, hard work, smart choices, and maybe even a little bit of, spooky luck.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Hold on. Before you get to the thing.
Okay.
I think we should pause here for a moment.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
Right.
We've explored what this spooky millionaire concept actually means and touched on some of the internal and external challenges we might face.
Yeah, and we've introduced the law of interaction.
Right.
And the idea that maybe, just maybe, there are some unseen forces at play that can influence our journey to success.
But there's more to unpack, right?
Exactly.
Like how to actually apply these concepts to our lives.
And that's what we'll be diving into
Right.
in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
All right.
We're just getting started.
Okay, so we've established that becoming a spooky millionaire isn't about winning the lottery or finding a genie in a bottle. It's more about mindset.
Right.
Tapping into your potential. And maybe even acknowledging some forces we don't fully understand.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put this into practice? What can we, the listeners, to start climbing those metaphorical mountains?
Well, Gold offers some pretty practical advice, actually. He emphasizes the importance of controlling your thoughts.
Okay.
And being mindful of the information you consume.
So like cutting down on doom scrolling. I'm definitely guilty of that.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Sometimes it feels like the world is just one giant dumpster fire.
And Gold would argue that constantly exposing yourself to negativity can cloud your judgment and make it harder to see those opportunities, those synchronicities that might lead to success.
He even says something like, negative news is like junk food for the mind.
Right.
It fills you up but doesn't nourish you.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
He suggests being more selective about the news you consume.
Right.
And instead focusing on things that inspire you, educate you, or bring you joy.
Okay, so swap out the doom scrolling for something more uplifting.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
But what about those internal mountains we talked about?
Yeah.
The self-doubt, the fear of failure.
Right.
How do we conquer those?
Well, Gold emphasizes the importance of enjoying the journey.
Okay.
Of playing in your chosen field.
Right.
He believes that when you approach your work with a sense of playfulness and passion,
yeah,
it no longer feels like a chore.
Okay, so it's not just about grinding away until you reach your goal.
Right.
It's about finding joy in the process.
Exactly.
Okay.
He argues that when you're genuinely enjoying what you're doing, you're more likely to persevere.
Yeah.
To put in the extra effort and ultimately to achieve success.
Okay.
He says, if you're not playing while you're working, you're doing it wrong.
That's a pretty radical idea, isn't it?
It is. It is.
I mean, work is work.
Well, think about it this way.
Yeah.
Remember that millionaire we mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
The one who was up at 2 a.m. working on his business plan.
Yeah.
Do you think he was dreading it?
Right.
Or do you think he was so engrossed in his project, so passionate about it that he lost track of time?
I bet he was in the flow state.
It's exactly
totally immersed in what he was creating.
And Gold argues that finding that state of flow, that sense of play, is crucial for achieving a spooky millionaire level of success.
Okay.
He suggests identifying the activities within your field that you truly enjoy.
Right.
The ones that make you feel energized and engaged.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's be real.
Sure.
Not everyone has the luxury of choosing work they love.
Right.
What about people who are stuck in jobs they hate?
Yeah.
Or who are facing systemic barriers to success? Can anyone become a spooky millionaire regardless of their circumstances?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And Gold acknowledges that the playing field isn't always level.
Right.
He recognizes that factors like socioeconomic background, access to resources, and even plain luck can play a role in someone's success.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
Okay.
But he argues that even in the face of these challenges, maintaining a positive mindset and a willingness to persevere are crucial.
Okay.
He says, don't let circumstances define you.
Right.
Define yourself.
So even if you're dealing with tough circumstances, you can still choose how you respond to them.
Right.
You can still choose to focus on what you can control.
Right.
Like your attitude and your effort.
He uses the analogy of a ship navigating a storm.
Right.
The storm represents those external challenges you can't control.
Right.
But the captain, representing your mindset, can still steer the ship.
Okay.
Adjust the sails,
right,
and ultimately navigate through the storm to reach calmer waters.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It's empowering, isn't it?
It is.
It's a reminder that even when things feel chaotic, we still have some agency. But let's go back to the spooky stuff for a moment.
Yeah.
We talked about those snow circles and the idea that there might be unseen forces at play. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure.
What does Gold actually say about these forces?
Well, he admits that this is where things get a bit more philosophical.
Okay.
Even a bit out there.
Right.
But he encourages readers to be open to the idea that there might be more to the universe than we can perceive with our five senses.
So like a sixth sense intuition?
He doesn't explicitly call it a sixth sense.
Okay.
But he talks about the power of intuition.
Right.
And the importance of paying attention to those gut feelings. Those moments where something just doesn't feel right. Or conversely, when an opportunity feels perfectly aligned.
So trusting your instincts.
Yes. He emphasizes that the subconscious mind is constantly picking up on cues and patterns that our conscious mind might miss. He suggests that by learning to listen to our intuition, we can tap into a source of wisdom and guidance that can lead us toward success.
That makes sense. It's like when you meet someone for the first time.
Right.
And you just get a bad vibe.
Yeah.
Even though logically there's no reason to feel that way. Or on the flip side, you meet someone and you instantly feel like you've known them forever.
Exactly. Those are the kind of intuitive nudges that Gold encourages us to pay attention to.
Okay.
He even suggests keeping a journal to track these moments, to see if any patterns emerge.
But how do we know if it's intuition or just wishful thinking?
That's a valid question.
Yeah.
And Gold admits that it can be tricky to discern between the two.
Yeah.
He suggests asking yourself questions like, does this opportunity feel aligned with my values and goals? Does it feel expansive or does it feel constricting?
Right.
He emphasizes the importance of trusting your gut feeling. But also using logic and reason to make informed decisions.
So it's about finding that balance.
Exactly.
Between intuition and rational thinking.
He believes that when we can harmonize those two aspects of ourselves, we can make choices that are both aligned with our hearts and our minds. And that's when the magic, or perhaps the spooky stuff, really starts to happen.
Okay, so we've talked about controlling our thoughts, finding joy in the journey, and trusting our intuition. Is that the gist of it? Are those the keys to becoming a spooky millionaire?
Those are certainly some of the core principles. But there's one more concept that we haven't touched on yet. And it's arguably the most important one of all. Is the idea that...
Hold on, before you reveal this all-important concept, I think it's time for another pause. We've explored some pretty deep stuff in this part of our deep dive. We've talked about the importance of mindset, finding joy in the work, and even trusting those intuitive nudges.
And we've acknowledged that while external factors can play a role in success, we still have the power to choose how we respond to those challenges.
But there's still one more piece of the puzzle, right?
That's right.
One more secret to unlocking our inner Spooky Millionaire.
Yeah. And we'll be revealing that secret in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
So don't go anywhere.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the Spooky Millionaire.
Right.
We've learned about controlling our thoughts, embracing joy in our work, and even tapping into those spooky intuitive nudges.
Yeah.
But you said there's one more crucial concept.
Yeah.
One that ties it all together.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, it's all about action.
Okay.
Gold argues that all the positive thinking and intuitive insights in the world won't get you anywhere if you don't take action.
So it's not enough to just visualize success. You have to actually do something.
Yeah, you gotta take action.
And that makes sense.
Right.
But it's easy to get stuck in the planning phase, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He even calls it analysis paralysis.
Right.
Where you get so caught up in researching and planning that you never actually take the leap.
Right.
He emphasizes the importance of taking imperfect action.
Okay.
Even if you don't have all the answers. Or if things feel a bit messy.
So it's like the ready, fire, aim approach. Just go for it and adjust course as you go.
He even uses the analogy of a sculptor.
Okay.
He says, don't be afraid to chip away at the marble.
Right.
Even if you're not sure what the final sculpture will look like, you can always refine it later.
I like that it's about embracing the creative process.
Yeah.
The messiness of it all.
Right.
But what about fear?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it natural to feel afraid when you're stepping outside your comfort zone, taking risks?
Of course.
How does Gold address that?
Well, he acknowledges that fear is a natural part of the human experience.
Right.
But he argues that it shouldn't paralyze you. He even says fear is like a shadow.
Okay.
It follows you wherever you go.
Right.
But it can't hurt you unless you let it.
So acknowledge the fear, but don't let it control you.
Right. He suggests reframing fear as excitement.
Okay.
As a sign that you're on the right track.
Okay.
That you're pushing yourself to grow.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Instead of seeing fear as a warning sign, see it as a signpost pointing you toward your potential.
Exactly. And remember, Gold isn't advocating for reckless abandon. He still emphasizes the importance of planning and preparation. But he encourages readers to be bold.
Okay.
To take calculated risks.
Right.
And to trust that even if they stumble, they can learn from their mistakes, get back up stronger.
So it's about finding that balance between planning and action, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not getting so bogged down in the detail that you never take the first step.
And when you combine this principle of action with everything else we've discussed, the positive mindset, the joy in the journey, the intuitive nudges, that's when you start to see real, tangible results.
Oh, okay.
That's when you unleash your inner spooky millionaire.
It's like all these principles work together. They amplify each other, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's not a pick and choose system.
Right.
It's about integrating all these concepts into a holistic approach to life and success.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the Spooky Millionaire.
Yeah.
We've explored the importance of mindset, the power of intuition, and the crucial role of action.
Yeah.
We've even tackled some pretty out there concepts like unseen energies and snow circles.
Right.
But what does it all mean for our listeners? What's the takeaway message here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we all have the potential to achieve extraordinary things.
Right.
It might not look like what we expect, and it might not happen overnight.
Right.
But by cultivating a positive mindset, embracing joy in our work, trusting our intuition, and taking consistent action, we can tap into a level of success that might seem almost, spooky.
It's like we have this untapped reservoir of potential just waiting to be unleashed.
Exactly. And the best part is you don't need a magic wand.
Right.
Or a secret formula.
Right.
You already have everything you need within you.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this question.
Okay.
What seemingly impossible goal would you set your sights on if you knew you couldn't fail?
Right.
What's that one dream that feels a little bit spooky, a little bit out of reach, but deep down, you know you have the power to achieve it?
Think big.
Yeah.
Embrace the unknown.
Right.
And unleash your inner spooky millionaire.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the Spooky Millionaire.
Right.
I hope this episode has inspired you to think differently about success, to embrace the unknown, and to tap into your own hidden potential.
Exactly.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep reaching for the stars.